before the Mass, Bob, from the first Mass asked, "Are this going to be the last Mass? Are you telling joke or not?" I said, "I will try." Anyhow, there was an old man, and he won $23 million in the lottery. And it was a great news. But the family was very hesitant because, after hearing the such a news, he may have a heart attack. So they don't want to tell him directly. So they said, it's better let us go and call our priest. We'll ask him to tell him politely, and that so that he might not have any heart attack or anything else like that. So they called the priest obliged, and the priest came and were talking to him nicely, as he was usually doing, and asked him, and what happens, Bill, if you win $100 million in the lottery? And then he said, and never is going to happen. But perhaps if it happens, my house is so poor, and we have nothing in our hand. So maybe I will redo my house and buy some new cars for me and my children. Maybe I will do something for my family, he was telling. And what happens if you want to win the lottery a little more, like $10 million? And he was looking at, are you kidding me? I'm not going to have that much of money in my life. No, don't talk about things like that. And the priest was persistent slowly. Now, really, if you win $23 million today, what will you do? He asked. Immediately the man said, Father, half of the money I will give to you, and another half I will give to the church. I promise, he said. After listening to that, the priest had a heart attack. Anyhow, money is problem, and money makes a lot of changes. And money is politics. We need to know that. And everybody knows that. Money plays the bigger politics. And now they are bringing to Jesus a problem, whether to pay taxes or not. Perhaps everybody would agree, paying tax is essential and necessary to run a country. Without that, it is too difficult to run a country. The system needs support. So nation needs support. Paying taxes is not a problem, but they are coming to Jesus with an understanding that we need to find fault with him. We need to entrap Jesus into some problem, and that's what their motive is. And they are coming to Jesus with a coin, and Jesus asked for a coin, and perhaps Jesus is given a coin. A little coin has politics. We need to understand. Any coin of any country, it has its own politics. And more we are into those politics, our world becomes the bigger and the biggest. The more you get into those kind of politics about, our world becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. But Jesus is here today making use of this opportunity, telling them some other things in which his world becomes smaller, the smallest. And that's a difference between Jesus and those Pharisees and Herodians coming to Jesus, trying to entrap him. Their world of politics is always bigger, the biggest. But the world of Jesus is smaller. His world is world of love. His world is his world of kindness, which is so small that anybody can get into it very easily. And that's what we see in the whole of the gospel. All the people were going close to Jesus Christ. He is not far away. He is among the people. Even in a place, somebody is touching his clothes and power was going out, mercifully, abundantly. Jesus was so close to us all. His power is among us. Perhaps his wealth, we all as people. He loves us so much. And that's what his world. So the more we love one another, the more our world becomes smaller. Because we know that we are loved. But the more we play politics, our world becomes bigger. How the beauty of this story, this incident, there are two people coming into Jesus. One is Pharisees, another is Herodians. Pharisees are Jewish people, the people of Israel, but Herodians are Romans, and they are powerful people. And these two people are joining together to find fault with Jesus Christ. The bad and the bad joins together to find fault with the good Jesus Christ. And that's a beauty. But what Jesus gives back, that's what's the lesson of life. Many a time in our life too, the bad joins with the bad brings you some misery, brings you some problem, brings you some suffering, and immediately what as human we do, we turn bad to them, and that's what we become bad. No, Jesus says, two bads coming together to me, I am not turning bad, I am turning into good always. I am a good man. I am not going to throw on them something else. And that's what the prudence of Jesus Christ, bring me a coin. And even in that coin, there is some politics. Because what is written, that's what Jesus is very beautifully says, whose image and whose inscription, whose image is Caesar's. How can a Pharisee have Caesar's image? Because they hate Roman. They hate their politics. They believe in the God of Yahweh. So they need to be very strict to their own God. Even they come to Jesus to find fault because Jesus is doing some good. What kind of good? Jesus bringing equality. Jesus bringing all people together. In Jesus Christ there is no up or down. That's why we see in John's the Gospel, 4th chapter, a woman comes and asks Jesus, how can you, a Jew, ask me, a Samaritan woman, for a water? Because the Jews and Samaritans, they even don't get water from each other. Degradation of the society, division of the society. And Jesus says, give me your water. So Jesus is trying to change all those degradations, all those divisions, all those differences. As for Jesus, all are children of God. And that's what Jesus is trying to do, and that's what these people are finding fault with Jesus Christ. Why? Jesus is too good to people. And now bad joins the bad and trying to dethrone Jesus Christ, trying to find fault and put him in suffering. But Jesus was good enough to ask for whose image. The moment the Pharisees has Caesar's coin is the moment they are against God. So Jesus finds out, you are, by saying you are God's people, but you are against God. And in that coin, whose inscription? Why Jesus specifically asked for inscription? Because what is written, Caesar, the god of Artesius, the son of the god of Artesius. That's what written. That's the meaning of the words written in that coin. That means Caesar's dad was God, and you are having that coin. How can you, who is believing in real God, have some other coin like that? So by asking that, Jesus tells them, you are bad. You are not doing the right thing. But anyhow, it's not Jesus' time to end his life. He has to keep going on. And that's why Jesus says, repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God. That means, Jesus says, as a good man, you will face a lot of challenges in your life. The bad joins with the bad will come to you to entrap you, to dethrone you. But as a good people, as Catholics we are, we don't turn into bad. We always stay good in our life. And that's the teaching of Jesus. That's what Jesus politely says, what belongs to Caesar, let him take it. And what belongs to God, all goodness belongs to God. All good things that we receive is belonging to God. So we enjoy this good thing and share that good thing with other people. And that's what Jesus said indirectly. And that's what the last weekend, I have been telling you, last 5 weekends, it's all about abundance mercy of God, abundant unconditional love of God. And the last weekend, everybody came into the banquet. There was one man, he was exiled, he was taken out. Why? Everybody received and they are ready to share. But this man, he received but not ready to share. He condemned even the king. How can the king be too good to all people? That's what Jesus said. Where is your wedding garment? Get you out of the banquet. So Jesus is too good to us, and we all enjoy our life. And as we are too good, there are a lot of bad things will come on our way. But let us not turn bad. But from our abundance of goodness, as our God is good, let us share our goodness with one another. And that is the way of Jesus, and that is the way of life that Jesus has taught us. And thus He said, bless those who persecute you. Pray for those who accuse you. And that's what Jesus said. So bless everybody. Remain good always in Jesus. The goodness will bring all good blessing for our life.